Hi everyone, Patty here. Today we're going to do a story to go along with our junk journal flip through. I'm bringing in my two puppers and my kitty cat. To see how I made this journal, I have a video on making it, along with a video on making the folio in the back of the journal, plus a giveaway for a folio. So you'll want to go to the description and check those videos out. So let's get started. There were two pupper dogs sitting around on a beautiful spring day who decided to go on a journey. Although different breeds, they were Twinkie twins in size and weight, brother and sister, and devoted to each other. Cooper was the mini schnauzer and Carmel was the mini golden doodle. As they set out on their trip, they had to escape the backyard and get through the gate and between the iron rod fences. Flowers were everywhere growing up the side of the iron fence, and they smelled so good. But the journey had to be made because there was a matter that had to be taken care of. Little did they know that it would add to their family. They dug and pushed the flowers away from the gate, and they had made an opening just large enough for them to get through. The thistles were in bloom, with purples and golden brown. Carmel didn't realize it, but she had stickers from the thistles in her paws and couldn't get them out. Cooper thought if she got her paws into a bucket full of water, it would help soften them and he could pull them from her paws with his teeth. They hadn't gone far on their journey, but Cooper had to lay down and take a break before he could go much further. They knew when they made it to the field of wildflowers that they were only at the start of their journey. More thistles were encountered along the way, with beautiful flowers, and a cat that could prevent them from making it through the field. When they got to the field, Mr. Kitty Cat stopped them in their tracks and told them they needed to give him a feather from the wise old owl before he would let them continue through the field. Carmel didn't think that this would be a problem at all and set out to find where the wise old owl lived. They were looking for a large oak tree with a blue flower at the base. They kept going till they got to the garden, which had vines growing up and over the hidden oak tree. There were so many beautiful flowers in the field, they had a hard time finding a path to get through. The smell of the flowers was making Carmel sneeze as she forged her way through the field. The vines hung down like strings and kept grabbing them as they kept going through the field. They were determined to find the wise old owl. How could there be so many different types of flowers and smells? Would they lose their way with all of the distractions? Then they saw the blue flower at the base of the large oak tree. They knew they were close. The mushrooms were a little bit slippery when they had to go over them, but they kept going. The garden was beautiful and in full bloom. Vines were like strings. Flowers were everywhere. The smell was just intoxicating. But Mr. Turtle was there to help them find the large oak tree. Mr. Turtle told Carmel that you must go 5,713 steps to the right, then form a line at the tree that had number 34 carved into it. From there, it's another 5,337 steps west. This was going to add to their journey, but it was the only way Mr. Kitty Cat would allow them to go through the field of flowers. The leaves were piled on the forest bed with iris and mushrooms. And an occasional butterfly would fly by. Carmel spotted the large oak tree. There was a huge mushroom that they weren't sure if they could even get around it because it was so large. Cooper saw a feather floating down out of the tree. How simple was that, they both thought. They grabbed the feather and headed back. Running as fast as they could to find Mr. Kitty Cat. When they found Mr. Kitty Cat, he was sitting in the field of wildflowers, drinking tea and smoking a pipe. You may enter the field of flowers, but make sure you don't stay past dark, or you may find wise old Mr. Owl isn't as nice this time and give you a long, sharp talon in the rear. Through the field of wildflowers they ran as fast as they could. Someone had left a garden trowel and spade in the path where they were planting marigold seeds. They slowly went around them and just kept on going. They just kept running through the field. More running and running. As they kept going, it was like music in their ears as their paws hit the ground together and the sun shone down on them and they kept on running. They ran until they came to a field of ferns, and they knew they were close and slowed down. When they looked under the fern fronds and could hear a kitten cry, Mr. Turtle was there and said, "I'm so glad you got here. This little kitten is lost and has nowhere to go. He is hungry and thirsty. Can you please take him home with you and take care of him until he can be on his own?" Cooper wondered if they really wanted to do this. He asked Carmel, "Do we want to take this on, Carmel?" Carmel said, "I think he needs us." Cooper agreed, and Carmel loaded the kitten in a knapsack and slung it over her shoulder so they could get back through the wildflowers field before dark. It was a small kitty with a tiny white spot behind both ears. They didn't see anyone on the way back home. They knew that Dewey, their new brother, would have a good home for as long as he wanted to stay with them. Cooper couldn't believe that he was going to have a new brother and have to take care of and the responsibility of this. They were both so happy that Mr. Turtle had prepared a knapsack for their trip home full of all sorts of goodies. Extra blankets, lots of blankets, and food, as he knew that having a new kitty would be hard enough trip trying to get the kitty home, that they would need proper supplies. Keeping the kitty warm and full would make the journey much easier, and keep the kitten quiet in the knapsack. So what started as a journey of excitement and adventure turned out to have the reward of a new family member. Have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this journey.